everybody, and welcome to America. The Everyday American here. Wanted to do an introduction for a video series that's starting. One of the things that I've done before that people ask me a lot of questions about is raising chickens and hatching chickens. So it's springtime here, which is typically the time when people hatch chickens. You can do it all year round, but for reasons we'll get into later, usually it takes place in the spring. So I'm going to hatch chickens in an incubator. Certain breeds of chickens will hatch their own eggs. Some will, some won't, but if you put them in an incubator, it's a sure thing. Well, not a sure thing, but you know at least they'll incubate. And for that, you need an incubator and you need fertilized eggs, and you need about 21 days for them to hatch. So I'm going to make videos periodically as I go through the hatching process, and so you can understand what it's all about, because some people don't understand how it works. Some people ask a lot of questions. Some people think it works differently, and I will impart all of the bountiful small sandwich of knowledge that I have in this particular subject, and hopefully help you along. So right now I'm going to take you around the corner and I will show you my incubator and how it's going to get set up, because the two things you need to hatch chicken eggs are fertilized chicken eggs and an incubator. So stick with me. Alright, so this is the box that the incubator came in. It's basically, the incubator itself is inside this cardboard box. I'm trying something new this year. I'm going to put the incubator inside of a box just to kind of give it a little bit of extra help to keep the temperature consistent, because in the springtime sometimes there's warm days, sometimes there's cool days, and if the temperature of the room that it's in isn't completely consistent, it will variate the eggs, which sometimes could cause some of them or all of them not to hatch. But this is the incubator that I got. It's a Little Giant is the manufacturer, model 9200. I bought this used from somebody on the Facebook Marketplace. I think I got the incubator itself, and then it comes with the automatic egg turner that goes inside. I think I paid $40 for both of them, and I see this still has a sticker from when they bought it. It was $50 just for the incubator. So if you can find one used, it's one of those things that people buy and they use it once, and then it sits in their attic. So maybe you could pick it up at a deal. But basically it's just, it's a styrofoam container that has a little bit of space in the bottom for water. And then there's a heating element in the top and a slight kind of a thermostat that's somewhat regulated, but it doesn't do a super good job of doing that, so you have to keep an eye on it. I keep my probe meat thermometer in there for the whole time, for the entire 21 days. And to keep an eye on the temperature just to make sure it doesn't change. You want it between 99 and 102. Ideally it would stay at 99.5 for the entire time, but if it varies a little bit in there for a little bit of time, it's usually okay. Don't throw them out right away just because you come up and see that the temperature is either too high or too low, but you should check it a couple times a day to make sure that it's on. So by leaving that in there, I can watch the temperature without opening it. And then I'll give you a close-up here of the actual incubator inside so you can get a look at it. Okay, so this is the actual incubator itself. I put it inside this cardboard box and just kind of close it up so that it gives it a little bit of an air cushion around it in case there's a draft or something like that. You want to keep this incubator like to the inside of your house, not like an existing wall, and you don't want it down on the floor. Because the temperature will usually be too cool or will vary too much there. Also, I think it says in the instructions it should be kept in a room that is at least 68 degrees. So if you have like a room that's cold, don't put this in here, because I'm going to open it up. But before I do that, these are these little red caps. There's one here, and then this one's in backwards. But go here so that it can ventilate, so that you can adjust the humidity inside. So these are those. But this is just two pieces. This is the knob that you use. It says decrease and increase. This red light means it's on. You want to turn this on for at least 24 hours before you plan to start incubating the eggs. turn it on and watch the thermometer. Basically, the directions for them are all a little different, but this one says to turn it all the way up and then just kind of back it down gradually to get it to maintain that temperature, and make sure that it stays a consistent temperature for probably at least 12 hours, ideally 24 before you start the eggs, because you don't want it to vary too much. Made in USA, always good to see. Read instructions before use. If you don't have instructions with the one that you have, look up online for the manufacturer and it will tell you, because you want to make sure you do all this right so you don't waste a month of your life that you'll never get back. This is the heating element in here. This is what turns on and off to heat the air inside. These windows are just so you can see. This comes with an automatic egg turner. The eggs need to be turned at least once a day. What this does is these all sit in here like almost like an egg carton. You can't put an egg in this one because when it turns it will hit the motor, so you want to leave that one out. So I think there's 42 slots in here, and then so you get one less. So you can do 41 eggs at a time with the automatic turner, or if you take this out and just lay them in the bottom, you can fit way more eggs, but you have to open it once a day to turn it. So I would rather do this just because it's easier. And then you don't have to worry about it. When you turn this on, you will not be able to see it moving. It moves so slow, it just gradually turns all day, so that in 24 hours they'll move enough that they're being turned, but you won't be able to see it. You'll hear it working. So if you don't see it working, don't freak out. And then this is just a little wire thing that sits on there, and then in these little grooves you fill these up with water so that it will stay humid inside of the incubator during the incubation process. And there you go. So I'm going to put this back together and let it settle out, and then we'll get ready to put the eggs in.